Chapter 14. The pain in my head is excruciating, as if knives were poking and dissecting the fascia of my brain. Memory has eluded me. There is a voice somewhere, and my body suddenly moves. I'm not the one moving it. I want to ignore it, but I'm manipulated, molested. My Diana, my beauty, she is gone. I will kill the person who took her from me. Wolfgang! Lord Wolfgang! Whispers echo about me, but I can't open my eyes. My body moves again, and this time I feel a hand on me. The demons are back. They will not take me. I'll make sure of it. I grip the arm of my assailant, disregarding the fire that will burn me, and my eyes flick open. Wrinkled face, crystal blue eyes. Someone is staring at me, and his grip is strong. Wake up, my son, wake up! The man shakes me violently. There is a brilliant fire next to his face, a torch burning hot. Scratches and splotches of blood cover his face. Blessed be to God, I thought you were dead, he says, gripping my face, looking me over like a manic parent. I thought the same. Everything is blurry. My wrists hurt where the lecturer placed its hand on me, yet I rub the other one, the one that no longer carries the bracelet of my family. My blessed Diana, what is she doing to me? A chill races up my spine at the thought of touching her again. Father Bronin's hand is before me, and I push it away, still unsure if what I'm seeing is real or not. It's hard to discern what he's thinking, hard to ignore the expression on his face. His tight black clothes are torn and full of dust and grime. He's trembling some, but not as much as I am. I shiver despite the blazing torch. Lord Wolfgang, it's me, Father Bronin. God knows what you've been through. He shakes his head while smiling. His will saved you from that fall. I recall falling from the cliff and suddenly flinch, remembering the impact into the icy water, the freezing cold, the sharp needles through my body. The memory is forever embedded. I thought you were dead when the carriage flipped, but I was wrong. How very wrong I was. He pauses. Forgive me, I lost hope. I feel joy at his words, that he concerns himself for me. Such enthusiasm. I'm tickled, really. But something bothers me, and it's not the throbbing headache at the front of my skull. I look around the dank cell, vision spinning some, remembering its walls of mortared roots, cracked gray stones and cobwebs. A faint recollection of howling seeps from my thoughts, and quickly I move against the bars, pressing my face in either direction to see if the Daverhounds were gone. Where are they? I stammer out, swallowing against the dryness of my throat. Tenor? Where are they? Damn it! Where are they? They will be back. They would have smelled Bronin by now. Where is what? No one is here, Bronin says in a soft tone. His face is stoic. I sink down from the bars, letting my hands scrape along its rusted edges. My hands are cracked and bleeding, but I disregard the pain from them. It's the sharp ache in my head that reminds me of here and now. The hounds, I whisper, the hounds. More to myself than anyone. The Daverhounds. They were here. Rancid skin. Dripping veins. I stop in mid-sentence, noticing a satchel lying on the floor of the prison hallway. There is a leather skin lying in the corner, unused torches with flint, and a small package bound by twine. In seconds I have the cloth unfolded in trembling fingers, and the familiar scent of pig makes my mouth water. I am hungry beyond measure. A hand on my shoulder makes me jump, and I spin around with blade in hand. Are you all right, my son? Bronin's eyes bring ease to my nerves, and as I relax momentarily. I am like a tightly wound spring ready to snap. Bronin is talking to me, trying to calm me down, talking reason, but my body is beyond reason. The only thing I'm reacting to is pain. Pain is my fuel. The evil of this place has plagued you, Lord Wolfgang. You are not yourself, he says, reaching for the cross around his neck to give me a blessing. I stare at it. Doesn't Bronin know by now that won't work? Plagued by evil indeed. I have known evil my whole life. It has been at my doorstep since I was a child. I wonder what new evil now resides in my life. God himself, perhaps? Watching Bronin hold the cross, I wonder, is this how God sends salvation, sparing the life of an old man over that of an infant? Don't worry about me, I say, watching him stare at the gashes on my face. I'm fine. What of the others? Kronklik, Manson, are they dead? My words are cold and harsh. They've been dead in my mind for some time. Manson's screaming face flashes before me, his tiny chest ripped open by Wilderman. And Kronklik, he would have never been taken prisoner. I grip my face, squeezing at the temples. God, my head hurts. I couldn't find their bodies. I searched the wreckage. I did all I could, says Bronin. The look on his face holds sorrow. The same look he spared me at Albiston Church when I told him of Dorian's abduction. Bronin continues. If they had passed, then they are better off than we are, next to our humble God. Despite my inability to reason at the moment, my mind lingers on the integral circumstance of Bronin. His finding me here, far below the earth, deep within the dark depths of this decrepit dungeon, the cesspool of the castle. How did you find me? I ask him. Bronin's icy stare wanders over my face again. Sweat drips from his forehead despite the cold air. The torch is brighter than usual and burns ferociously near his head. Through God's miraculous powers, he says, waving his hand above his head for effect, he guided me to you somehow. I blankly stare beyond him, wanting to confess my true thoughts about God, that he is ruthless and cold and cares not for the good of man. But I wait. This is not the time or place. After the carriage crashed, I was thrown to the roadside, tumbling through the brush, continued Bronin. I searched the area for them until I could no longer see. The night came fast, faster than I ever recall. So I took refuge here, within these cursed walls, where Dorian might be. I've been looking for him ever since. The look on Bronin's face is genuine. In his mind I was dead, yet he was here looking for my son. I have no words to express my gratitude. God has done good with his soul. I cannot say the same for mine. Bronin's sudden appearance saved my life. He has food, water. The fresh liquid never tasted better as it floods my throat. The bread he salvaged from the wreckage is soft in my hands. Its complexion is light next to my filthy skin. He's carrying vials of holy water along his chest strap and a silver stake tucked into his belt. Following my gaze, he holds the stake out to me. It will serve you better than it did me, he says, glancing at my shoulder. It aches as bad as my head. Anxiety beseeches me as I look about the corridor. Residual thoughts of the Daver hounds haunt me still. They seem real enough. This place is poison to me. The longer I stay, the more my mind decays. I stand and stretch. My body is stiff as I move through the hall. The few hours of sleep, if one could call it sleep, seem to rejuvenate me some. I feel life coming back to me, energy returning to my cramped muscles. We should go the other way, says Bronin, pausing in his step, holding his torch out in the direction I came from. No, I say firmly. We must go this way if we have any hope of finding my son. Already I'm thinking of the things I will do to Joachim when I find him. Bronin runs a hand through his white powdery hair. I just came from that direction. There is a look in his eyes that speaks uncertainty, almost fear. And what did you see? I ask. How much of the castle still stands? Hardly any of it. The castle is in ruins, fallen in on itself. I was fortunate to find a path beyond the foyer. I have no time for this. I continue moving down the corridor. This place might be affecting Bronin's judgment. He doesn't know the things I've seen by the Faust River, the horrors that wait there. The cells lining the walls are like an endless cage of despair, cell blocks, one after another. Eventually they end changing direction. I know Bronin is behind me. His boots are loud along the stones. More turns to the dungeon, and finally we reach a set of iron-bound, wooden-planked doors. They are open and riddled with cobwebs. I try not to disturb anything as I progress, knowing that some beast may leap out of the shadows. Skeletons, shackled to the walls like beasts lined most of the way from this point on. They remind me of the caretakers that came out of the woods to attack the village. Yet they carry no lantern or soul. They were prisoners left to die from starvation, or worse, to be drained of their blood. The Daver hounds have picked them clean. Corner after corner we are greeted with our own shadows from the torches. Why would Joachim come this way with Dorian? I'm amazed at the length of the dungeon until at last we arrive at the foot of a long flight of stone steps. This is the way you came from? I call behind me. Yes, Bronin replies, not far behind. His sneezing echoes through the hall. The stairs ascend around a bend and open into the chamber. Slowly I begin ascending, still working the blood through my legs. More skeletons with wrists bound behind their backs decorate the base of the walls. Spiders dangle from loose threads as I swipe my torch side to side, ensuring none of them touch me. The stairs are ancient, cracking from the weight of each step. When we reach the top, I feel it is cramped, the air flat and stale. I feel claustrophobic at the moment, and wish desperately for a breeze of fresh air. But it never comes. Everything smells of mold. The cracks in the walls drip with water. Again my mind ponders Joachim's intent. Why here of all places? This place is a ruin. Nothing more than potential for a museum, as far as I'm concerned. Despite my inclinations, I realize my thoughts are pointless. Yet the further I go, the more anger torments me. I will allow Joachim to confess his sin to me before I rip out his throat. Let him clutch at me while he bleeds all over. Suddenly I stop, and Bronin nearly walks into me. Sorry, didn't know you needed to rest. But rest is not the reason I've stopped. I see a solid wall before me, and my thoughts turn to doubt. Placing my hands on it, it is cold, and the material is different from the rooted mortar that sets the stones in the dungeon. I look to Bronin for answers, but his eyes are wide. That wall was never there before.